Okay, you guys want to do it on your don't worry, then you already said did you have cards? Did you cards?
We'll address that problem. We'll do a demo, and that demo will address that problem. But you have to try as much as possible to, learn from the experiences of your colleagues. You learn from their own experiences, because in a moment from now, they will tell us what they've been experiencing on IPE, the challenges they've been having. Then that will enrich your own experience. Then when we do a demo is just a one-step thing. Everything will be alright. So that's something for us. So if every other person is has been practicing on IPE, that means you don't even have an issue. Nothing has really changed. So we only came here to let you know a few items, a few features that have been added. One, payer ID. How to get a payer ID, that's very important. How to get a payer ID, how to make your request, and how to get a response. We want to talk about that. Then we want to see how you can post your transactions without using a temporary card. Those are the two main things we want to achieve. Then the others, we simply ask you a question if you have known them. Okay, if I want to reprint a receipt, if I want to read my card and see what has happened, how to synchronize my card, which I think you are doing every day, and all of that. So with that, all of us should go. So the major issue is the challenges you are having, and then the responses, how you can better your performance based on those challenges that you're having now. So we're going to begin with the question and answers. Is that okay by you? Is that okay?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. Like what I would really say about IPE, let me say like in my branch.
What's your branch?
My branch is in one. For sometimes we've actually had an issue in terms of IPE processing of the transactions in my branch. So as in the recent development, I've not really had much of the recent development in terms of it.
Okay, that means that what do you call that branch?
Yeah, in Inowa.
Okay. At Inowa, Sterling Bank Inowa branch has not opened that branch up for Lagos State Government collections. That's what he has just said.
no.
Please note that. That's what he has just said. Because for some time now, they have not been doing anything.
Sorry?
You had a challenge, and that challenge has not been resolved. So we are going to note that. We are going to get back to you by Monday with a view to solving whatever challenge is it. So it's
I want to ask a question. Like Inowa said, he said they've not been processing IPE transactions for a while.
yes.
But I want to ask him that who has he contacted on that?
Okay. And that's your question. You've not been IPE, Lagos State Government transactions for a while. So have you contacted anybody?
My own major problem is in terms of my ETC card.
You have not told us. Now, let us even address his own problem. Now, and
It's different from the address, but it's my name, but it's not my address. I said no. I've already, informed, showcased this issue with Alphabeta, and what we were told that see your OPR ID, you can use it for 10 house property. What they are interested upon is that your number, the number of the house they charge, that does it. So maybe you need to maybe on the media, maybe let the customer, those people that are paying, to know about this, so that they will not just come to the bank and be fighting with us.
Now,
which one is correct? So when I post it, that's a receipt. This to the 120 copy that receipt. Why so when I wanted to allocate the card, I saw that the card belongs, that number belongs to that person entirely. No, it's complete. And it was issued if you had not come with a receipt. Land the receipt for last year, maybe you don't know your PID. Different account. Of course, the question.
now, do you hear his question? Somebody came to make payment with a previous receipt, with a particular detail, name, address, and everything. But I'm trying to do a transaction. You say you are allocating a number. Now that the information now belongs to another person. How do you want me to answer? Okay. Now, because this one defies logic. What we have here is a dummy. You know dummy? If I throw this microphone up, what will happen? It will come down. If I throw it up 10 times, what will happen 10 times? It will come down 10 times. That's what we have there. If you throw me up this time, because I'm not grabbed, yes, hold on. I may fall here. But if you throw me up the second time, you don't expect me to land here. I will still fall, Abi, but I may land somewhere here because I will use my brain. This application has no brain. That's number one. If the payer ID, you have entered them exactly as you have entered them, it ought to return the right thing. That's number one. Number two, if this person had 1, 2, 3 payer IDs, and then he has noticed that he had all of those payer IDs, and then the payer IDs had been matched to one, that means he has lost how many now? 2. Am I right? And that system has gone ahead to allocate the same payer ID to another person. It's possible. While he's still retaining that old receipt. It's possible. That is something, that is a likely thing that might have happened. But if that is the case, let us know about it and let us treat it on this specific level. That thing can also happen when you want to validate a receipt. Because sometimes you want to validate a receipt, somebody has said, okay, reverse this transaction for me. So the transaction has been successfully reversed. Then he now takes that receipt to go and get service. Why would you do that? That's fraud. We don't want to talk about that. Because that, if we want to talk about fraud, we have a unit that deals with fraud and they can come and talk about that. You have reversed a transaction. That means that the receipt is now invalid, isn't it? You now bring back that receipt to go and get service from Lagos State government. They will revalidate and they tell you that the receipt is invalid. You say, but this is your receipt. Why is it invalid? The system, the front end you have here will not show you that, but the database will tell you what has happened. So there needs to be additional investigation to find out what has happened. Remember, this investigation is not going to interview somebody. It is going to check what has transpired of the system, who entered the system, at which hour, at what hour, the audit trail, and whatever comes up there is authentic. It's not manipulated. There is no influence on data. Whatever the bank sends in is what happens. There's no influence on data by anybody. I don't know if that answers the question. So if you have that challenge, let us see it and let's treat it on an individual basis. Any other question? Everybody's comfortable now. Now, what problem are you going to have? No, it's not enough. What problem are you going to have? Okay.
I'm from Johnson to Kerry.
We didn't have your name.
What's it?
Okay.
We don't normally have issues, but what we have is our link.
Link problem. Okay. Okay. That's another problem. Okay. But when that problem is not there, it works perfectly. Okay. What about this?
I'm from technology. So I don't use the interface, but I'm here to understand the shortcomings. Sorry? My name is Adewale Tinubu.
Okay, Adewale Tinubu.
Yes.
It's from technology. And so we are very happy that you are here. Much of like you say your link is low. That is meant to it. So please give her your number. whenever your link is low, down, or whatever, that is the person to talk to. If our link, if our system, our link is down at our own end, we do a mail to you, we do a letter to you and tell you, look, we are doing some things. Please bear with us. We always do that. As long as you have not received the mail from us, we have not received the letter from us, that means our systems are working. And that means any delay. Submit your request. Am I right? Put what are you submitting in the request? Let me list them. 1. Full name. His own is company. The individual is much more complicated. So let's use individual for example. Full name of individual. Please write it down. Please write it down. So that even if we don't achieve any other thing, this one will be okay. Full name, payer, ID, creation, request. Submit the following information. 1. Full name of the individual. And what is the full name? 1. The surname. 2. The first name. 3. The middle name. Submit it in this order. I'm calling that. That is what you submit. That's the first requirement. The second requirement is this. Full address. What is full address? House number, street name, town area. Example, 77 LCCI Road, Alausa. Where? Ikeja. 71, that's house number. LCCI Road, street name, and town area, Alausa, and Alausa is where? Ikeja. You must submit those information. Number 3 requirements, email address, compulsory. Number 4, phone number, correct GSM phone number, 11 digits, not 13, not 14, 11 digits. Then finally, date of birth. Where do you submit all this information? Go to your main menu, search create payer ID, search out for this person. He is not there. Click and fill out the form with all of this information as compulsory information. Click post request. After 3 minutes, go back to the same main menu, payer ID, creation, response. Click on it. Put your branch code there. It will display everything that your branch has submitted. Take the payer ID if it is created. If it is not created, they will tell you why it is not created. If you search that way, you don't find it, do another search. Go and search on that website again as if you are searching afresh and pick the payer ID. Follow this procedure all the time. If you don't get them close, they don't pay them well. And they never clap for them, they don't give them a reward. That's okay. Now the truth of the matter is simple. I want to go back to the payer ID creation issue because that's why we have the issue. I'll repeat myself. Make a request. Supply full name comprising surname, first name, middle name. Supply full address comprising house number, street name, town area. Supply a good phone number, GSM preferable, 11 digits and no more. Supply email address. Somebody said but some don't have email address. Oga, I won't, because after this class we'll talk. But we want to believe. Now, I want to believe that the orientation should change by now. The orientation should change by now. At WAEC, some days ago, you had to go there, carry your money, pay and something like that. But now they are doing it online. Am I right? And there are some parents that they never saw the 4 walls of classroom. But they are the ones registering for their children and all of that. So how are they doing it? Use that system here. It will work. So the issue of payer ID is a settled issue. We don't want to dwell on the technicalities of this. Because even I went to one small shop They were asking me my date of birth to buy one small gadget. They say, what is your date of birth? What is your email? What is your anniversary date? For buying one small gadget worth less than 10,000 in this country. So those things they shouldn't be strange to us. Please supply those information. When you supply those information and you search, they will tell you, look, this one is missing. Don't resend. Supply that one that is missing.
How do you supply?
Take it easy now. Take it easy. Take it easy. You see, you don't even take us. Please take it easy. I have seen a situation where somebody said, okay, supply this missing name. Now he supplies it again with the original information, and that will be up to 5. You've not done anything. Even if you're supplying the whole information again, shouldn't there be one that will do the correction? Shouldn't there be? I mean, why are we talking about this issue anyway? Then he said, search to payer ID request response. Search for payer ID. So if you click this, it will give you another form where you supply your bank's branch and all of that. Then you search on the left there. The payer ID will be there. You pick it. And I am saying, if this has taken you more than 5 minutes, and then you still do not have this number, call my own number, 0805 30 0805 3090 176. Joseph, what's your last number?
188.
Huh?
188.
188. The last 3 digits. 188. Before the end of the class, we'll give you the head customer care. We'll give you her number. If you call, if you can get any of these numbers, these people will personally take it upon themselves to make sure that you get that number. That you get your answer within maximum of 10 minutes. That is if you have done what you have done. If the answer is, look, give us a middle name, and you are not able to provide it, you are still wasting your time because nothing will be done. What they have done is that maybe you supply 2 names. They have tried creating this thing with the 2 names, and it can't go. And they say, please give us a 3rd name, and they say you cannot bring it. But you are counting, it will still not go. Or maybe they say, give us a phone number. You have given them 13 digits. They say, no, this one is not correct. Give us another one. You will return with another 13 digits. It will still not go. The problem we're having is, in fact, everything is manifested here. They don't want, the bankers don't want to, I don't know how they want to do it. They don't want to invest some patience into the whole thing. And say, okay, fine, this is, okay, sorry for that. Customers are on your neck, and that is what we are saying. Please, if a customer comes, make a request. If the request is not done, call these numbers. Personally, if I get that number, I will text it to you. If you give me a text message, okay, fine, this is what I'm looking for, you give me the details, I will go and search. If I search it, I won't let you go back to the system. I will text it to you, I will reply your mail. I've been doing that. If you send it to Joseph, he will do the same thing. If it is the head of the customer care, he will do the same thing. That is, if your request is not attended to within these 3 minutes. And I do not see a reason why the request should not be attended to within 3 minutes. If you have submitted a genuine request. If it's a condition. Can we continue from there? Is that a little bit satisfactory? Okay. Someone wanted to say something here. We are on question and answer session. Beyond this, after this, we just do a 15-minute demo, and all of us will leave here. So what we are doing is by design. It's not, we're not wasting anybody's time. Yes, sir.
My name is Henry from Arumi Branch. My name is Henry from Arumi Branch. You're welcome. Thank you. I would say I'm disagreeing with you totally, but there are some things you just that does not work the way you said it. Let me just say with you. In the real practical sense of it, I have an example. Let me just give you this name. Mrs. Joseph. You can check it on that system now. Mrs. Joseph, or Hagon. And is, I've forgotten, 3 names, and the customer paid. They learn information. And we sent the request to Alphabet. Alphabet gave us a list that has endurance. You told us to provide email. That's number 1. That's not where I'm going. Now we have the issue of wrong title. Where we send Mr. to Alphabet. The payer ID comes as Mrs. So you're telling me to bring the receipt from Alphabet. This is about, we are toying with our account with Lagos State. You don't know what it means. Where the customer reported us to the Surveyor General and said, this is what I paid for, and this is what they gave to me. We are, hold on, sir, hold on. I'm sorry. We have a lot of issues. Now you said we've not sent the request. Why we've not sent the request? I've sent the request. And I'm trying to send it a second time because the payer ID is not coming. Do you know what it said? The system said, avoid duplication. See, let me tell you, everything on this platform we know, avoid duplication. That means the name is already with them. Now, the payer ID is not coming. I have an incident yesterday. A man came to pay for last month. 2 o'clock, he was in the branch. He was still about to pay in GTB, and we have to generate payer ID. I have to call for more than 3 times. That takes me almost about 1 hour 25 minutes to get the payer ID. At the end, the payer ID was called, not even on the platform. The lady said, okay, let me just assist you. I will give you the number. You're listening to me. Fine. These are issues we need to tackle. We know about the payer ID creation.
I have heard you. No. You see, the issue is that some people have come in with positions, a mindset. You have come in with a mindset, which means what we are doing here is not even important. It's irrelevant. That is what it is like. What we are doing here is irrelevant. As long as I'm concerned, these guys are wasting my time. This is the situation. What are we talking about here? He said, fine, the last thing he said is that at the end of the day, the payer ID was called, it wasn't even on the platform. Where did the person get it to call for you? Is it not because they have created this payer ID and you have been unable to search for it? Okay, hold on now. Will I be able to look in the sky and give you a payer ID? If I can see it in my little corner, somebody in the US will see it. Somebody in Stellenbosch will see it. Hold on. Nobody can call a payer ID for you unless it is created. And it is created on this platform so you can see it. I am not a pastor. I am not preaching. That is the truth. This thing is a technology.
Things on mail so that you reply me, I can document it. That thing that I sent you, if it has been done, you reply me, it's done. So that I can have other things to do.
Okay, don't justify the whole thing now. See, it is on the board. Put the title, Mr. We are just trying to search if this person is on the system. Enter the surname of the person. Search for me, please. Let me see if I'm in your database. My name is Okoro. Put the full name. Put Okechukwu. Put Chukwuma. Okechukwu. You. Put Chukwuma. Then put Okoro again. That's it. This is how it should look. First name, that is surname, first name, surname on his own beat. Then first name, middle name, surname again. If you want to search appropriately. But sometimes you can search with 2 names so that it can give you a longer list so that you can search. So search now, let's see. Okay, so while we're searching, if it doesn't find it, it will give you an option to make a request. That's what's going to happen. It will give you an option to make a request. I hope you know why we are slow here. We are using a dial-up wireless access and all that, so it's not as robust as when you are using your main facility, but it's still even fast enough. So, we are running. Is there any issue so far? Yes, sir. Okay, my own last one. Okay.
Actually, I just want to ask this question because
okay.
on this case of the ID.
Yes.
I'm so familiar with it.
Okay.
But what problem I'm having with one of my customers now is that
it's a corporate entity, and when I sent for that PID creation, and the name is option 57. Option 57. And when they put, by the time I saw the name on the creation of the platform, when it was created, then when I wanted to assign card to post that transaction.
Are you still assigning card?
Yes, my branch is assign card.
Okay, don't worry. We'll solve the problem.
So when I keep
not assign card again.
So when I key in the pair ID, the name that it brought is option 57, but wrong spelling. It's supposed to be OPTION, but can I say OPTIION?
No problem. There's an amendment. Just send an amendment.
I sent amendments,
yes.
And up to now, even I just spoke with one truth. I'm sorry, Frank, and subsequently we will talk. But now,
we'll give you the person that you talk to. We'll correct that first.
But now they didn't.
First money, correct that.
Okay.
Yes. Just send an request. Send an request. We show you what to send the request. And by money will correct that. It wouldn't take you anything. Just an amendment. That's.
I think that was.
It's a simple matter. We'll resolve it. Unless there's another thing they are not doing. Instead of saying it.
There's something that's not told us. Don't worry, we'll get that done. What we're going to do is this. Print the receipt and give it to the customer. No problem. Hold on now.
See, I asked that customer.
Hold on.
I go on with this name. He said no.
Just hold on. Print the receipts, give it to the customer as an evidence that he has paid. Let his mind come down. Look, my money is here, but my name is wrongly spelled. Am I right? Okay. So when we make the correction, we will reprint the receipt for him. It has no cost for me.
See, my brother.
Yes.
We did a lot of transactions for Lagos State last week.
Yes.
I'm telling you what I'm saying now.
Yes.
I still have one problem with one customer.
Yeah.
That's why the fact that the three names shows there. Yeah. The woman was telling me that the address is not correct.
And we'll correct it. We will correct.
And I've sent for what?
Just
I've sent for the
we will show you. We will show you how to send. Nothing is done. That's one problem we're having. The second problem is that when they had submitted the request, they don't go back to check to ensure that to know what has happened, the updates. That is not done also. And then when they make a request, they just okay, I didn't see. They don't find the reason why that request is not made. Sometimes they make the request, they don't even search at all. This gentleman I asked, okay, this thing is created. Please go back and search. He said, no, it's not true. Okay, I had to go search myself and then texted the information to him on the phone. And I said, look at, you have been calling since morning that the pay ID is not created. This thing is created. Look at the time it's created. He said, no, it's not true. I just created it that time. It's not correct that way. So, make a request, go back to the system, search for it, fetch it. When that is not the case, within 5 minutes, make a call. We'll give you the numbers at the end of this class. So that the issue of PID delays, creation, delays and all of that should be entirely a thing of the past. Is that okay by us?
We are going to post a transaction without assigning a card. Is that okay by you? The people on this side, we want to post a transaction without assigning a card. Is that okay by you? On this side, is it okay by you? Now, number one, hold on. What kind of people are these?
Good morning, everybody. Sorry, can I have your attention? Can I have your attention? Okay. We've done 1 hour, 15 minutes already. But as I can see, we're a little not satisfied with what we have been doing, okay? And we want to get the best out of this now. He's saying we want to do a transaction without the use of cards, and I'm still seeing people raising up their hands. I can see people raising up their hands. If you have issues you need to be addressed, please hold on. Once we are done with this, we can go back to your questions. Do we have an agreement? Sir, please.
Okay. Now, the first and foremost is G.mdb. Also download this and save it in your account data folder. That's all. LAS.mdb. Remove your hand, sir. Look at it. LASG.mdb. Those are the two files that you save into your account data folder. If you successfully save these two files into your account data folder, you have correctly updated your ePay to the right version. That's all. Then the next thing is that when you want to run ePay, it can tell you that you have to register again. To give you ePay clients, then to give you some numbers. You call the customer care and give them those numbers. They will give you additional number which you are going to save in your card data folder, epayclients.txt, and that is done. I hope everybody can do that. You have been doing that. Huh?
You can do it.
I didn't hear you, madam. Yes, it is the IT that should do it for you. But I have this attitude of do it yourself. Personally, if I can copy a file and save, so why would I call somebody to come and do it for me? What is he doing? So what is he doing? It's just to leave the software, come here and sit on my system and feel big, eh? So what are you feeling like? I can do it. And that is what I want you to learn from us today. Okay. What? Huh? We are the one creating now. You give us a request, we create and return to you. You are not creating anything. So there is no way we can create for everybody now. You only give us, submit your request to us, we create, return to you, and then you use it to pay. So yours is just pay, collect. Ours is just work.
So I think I get what she's trying to say.
Okay.
So where we're going to get to is that taxpayers would have received their PID from the tax stations. You know,
okay.
We are going to get there. The civil servants are not necessary to it that. I mean, I don't know how to put it. That's what we are going to do. You know, all collections have to be done at the bank. We don't want anybody handling cash because it's going to be fraudulent. That's what was happening before in the time of OA and Co. So now it's going to be done at the bank. But before the taxpayers get to the bank, they'll go to the tax stations to get assessed. At the point where they are being assessed, they'll get their credit and come with credit to the bank. We are not really reached there.
Okay, madam, let me the way I am looking at you, your income is not just equal to the salary they are paying you. The way I'm looking at you. Do you agree with? I'm not a tax person. No. Now, let's look at it this way. For all these additional businesses you are doing, waiting now. For all these additional businesses you are doing and all this additional income, are you paying taxes on them? Just say, tell me yes or no. Whether you are, it's hypothetical. Are you paying taxes on them? No. Does the government know you are doing them? No. If I ask you now and say, look, I am the tax officer, please, madam, come here and tell me all your incomes, all the money you are making, so that I can tell you how much you should pay as tax. Will you go? Wait now. Okay, let me not use you. Now, all these hairdressers that make these beautiful hairs I'm seeing here, most of them drive very beautiful cars. I hope you know. Fantastic houses. I hope you know. How much are they paying as tax? 2,500. Am I right? They pay through the association. Am I right? You know what they're supposed to do? Go to the tax station and sit before the tax officer, and the tax officer they will tell the tax officer all their sources of income and everything they earn, so that the tax officer can tell them how much they should pay as tax. Wait now, madam, wait, one after the other. You see,
if you don't get my gist, remember we are getting at something. Let's first of all agree on the principle. Let us first of all agree on the principle. Then we can now talk about the rest. Now, what you're supposed to do is to go and sit down before the man. The man will give him an assessment. While giving an assessment, you create a pay ID for him so that when you come to the bank to make payment with this assessment, you present your what? Payer identification number. That's how it's going to be easy for you. That's what everybody would want. But nobody wants to go to the tax officer to get an assessment. So if you don't get there, how do you pay? People simply get off from there and say, oh, these guys are giving me so much problem. I can't pass the street. I can't open my shop. They say I should pay tax. Okay, why do I pay? Go to the bank. Okay, bank, I want to pay tax. That's how they come. Did anybody assess them? Is it at that point you say, go to the tax station? See, these things are step by step. And that's why it's okay. If they get to the bank, please get this information to us. Let us register this person and return the person to you so that they can pay through your bank. And I don't see any reason why that should be difficult if we want to do it. You see, computers can do certain things to some extent, but it do not take the responsibility of it could not take the human responsibility out of it. We all can log on to ePay. Even the gentleman that said he has not seen this before, he has been working on it. He said he has not, because if you are not working on it, you won't be so eloquent on the operations and procedures. I doff my hat for you, so you know everything. So, please close this one to continue. Let's close it. Nothing has changed. The same process. Put your password. This is your username here. Your payer ID is serving as your username. Select your location. You go in there. What we are trying to do is to process a transaction with only one card. The people that came here in the morning said they've never heard of that before. Is it the same thing with you? That means you're running two banks. One side knows. Sorry for that. So, put your bank card, which is what is in there. Go to File. Post transaction. Straight away. Not assign anything. Post transaction straight away. Look at that information there. Is this in an error? Because some people will tell you that it is an error. They photocopy it, do a screenshot and send it to you. It's an error. And there's something I didn't tell the people in the morning. If you are working and your card is shifted, network is lost, it will tell you that this is an old card. Do you want to suspend it? Have you seen that before? What's the answer? Or somebody, even as of last week, somebody was calling that his cards have been suspended. That he wanted to do this on ePay. His ePay is telling him that his card is suspended. And I was trying to explain this to him. He refused to listen to me. He said his card is suspended. I said, yes, I agree. Call Joseph or call the account officer or the support officer and let them give them the card and let them reactivate the card for you. But this is what you did. He said no, he didn't do it. So please, for every message that comes up on ePay, look at it very well and understand what it is talking about. Whether the answer is yes or no. Because if the system is asking you whether you want to suspend your card, why do you want to suspend your card? Because I know some people want to suspend their card really true. Please don't suspend your card. The answer is no. But in this case, what's the answer? Yes. What's the answer here? Yes. So let's say yes. It comes up automatically with this. Now, there's also one factor I want to clarify here. ePay, as at this time, is just running on your local system. It is not connecting to anything. From the point we started till now, is there any point where it is slow? Where you have experienced it being slow? If you experience it being slow at any point, call the gentleman there. What do you say your name is, sir? Please, can you stand up so that you can see your face? Look at it. Are you this tall? Look at him. If your system is slow, call him. Please give. He will give you. So call him. He will find a reason why that system is slow. Like, since you are here, excuse me, sir. ePay is largely a desktop application.
is running locally on the local system. It is only at this point where it is trying to link up to the database. Even at this point, it has not started linking up to the database. It's still running locally. So it's asking you to choose the payer type. So let's choose the payer type. There are two types of payers, individual or company. So you choose the appropriate one. Let's choose individual. Then the payer ID of the person, we use one in the morning, 970079. 970079. Click on verify. Now it is at this point that log on to Lagos State Government database. This is where if you complain that the system is slow, you say, what are the ISPs? Which ISP is giving us network? This is their responsibility. So put your password there. The other things are all by default. So say okay. Say okay, sir. Have you clicked?
Yes.
Okay. So it will show you information here, but open this box. Open this box. Because this person has more than one card. This person has more than one card. If he has one card, everything will be here to just come up. Right? But he has more than one card, so select the appropriate card. So select this. That's his information. Read this. Is the payer profile correct? Yes. No. Cancel. Now, somebody will say, I want to process transaction from Mr. ABC, but my receipt is showing XYZ. Whom should I blame? I want, madam, please, can you be loud? Or let me ask the question again. I want to process a transaction. What is on my deposit slip is Mr. ABC. But when my receipt came out, it turned out XYZ. Whose responsibility is that? Please, let us echo that again. You see, if you don't do what you are expected to do, errors will come. Please, asking you if this profile is correct. Look at the name, look at the address, look at the phone number, look at everything. And at this point you say yes. Then when the receipt comes out, you say no, it's no longer this one. And then you ask me that question here, I will just be looking at you. I cannot answer. Because I don't know what you have done. And most of the people will not tell you exactly what they have done. They won't, because there's an error. They want to color it, they want to hide it. There's no need for that. This is technology. That's the problem we're having. Can we continue? Let's say yes. If we say yes, it will go show us the page where we process our transaction. And this is the page. Here is assessment, it's already highlighted. Repayment, if they have come with the agency card, that's why you use it. For the people that are doing the collection at that level, that's prepaid collector. Others is if you are doing your sweep and all of those things, then reversals. We'll talk about that later. Let's process land use charge transaction. Am I right? It's an assessment transaction. So the agency is Ministry of Finance. Am I right? Yes. So type Ministry of Finance for us there, sir. I know it's 431, but some of us don't know it. Like me, I don't know it. So I want to type the name of the agency. Ministry of Finance. Go ahead, sir. Look at that. Look at that. Is it there now? Yes. So select it. That's how it goes. He said, no, it is this taxation. Type the name of the taxation. No, it is payee. Type it. Whatever ministry. It's Ministry of Education. Whatever name of the ministry, just type it in there to come. The agency will come. Then the revenue code is the revenue item. What are you paying for? You can type it in there, but this one is more manageable. You can open that box and select what you want to select. So select. The account number is automatically fixed. But remember, if your bank has an account that caters for more than one collection, then it will open that box for you to select the appropriate revenue code. Remember, for you to select the appropriate account, please, it's important. Then touch your tab key. Touch your tab key. It shows you this. The question you asked me, somebody has 10 properties and they want to capture the addresses of the 10 properties, isn't it? So for the 10 transactions, that means you're going to do 10 transactions with the same pay ID, but you have to fill this from how many times? 10 times. That's how to capture multiple properties with one pay ID. Is that okay for you, sir? Is that okay? So when you finish this transaction, you are still in the system. You go and do another one, the same thing. You do another one, the same thing. You do another one, the same thing. So the information you fill in here is the information coming from the deposit slip you have from land use charge. Am I right? So let's fill it in. Here, like this person has paid before, the first transaction he did is recorded 0. Am I right? So if I want to pay for this again, I'll simply put 0 here and load. All of this information will be filled up for me. But this is a different transaction. Am I right? Am I right? So I will leave this and come here. So the property P, put it in there, 2013 dash, give us some numbers, 13 digits. How many digits? Hey, come on. Are you all, I came here I left my house at 6 o'clock to get here. You just came now. You have had your lunch. Okay, you had your breakfast. I've not had anything. So you see, you are stronger. So, 13 digits. How many digits? 13. So that's what we have there. Plot use. Select it. Select plot use. Select anything. Don't select anything at your own end. Okay. Property address. Type it in. Type the property address in. Just type. Why do you always like this name? Okay. Okay, so select the LGA. Select the LGA. Anyone. But in your own case, it must be the appropriate one. Then, that's all. All this other information, you don't need them. So that's all the information you supply. What you have here. You say accept. Accept this. Now, this is the assessment reference. It's automatically here. So complete this form. The next thing you have there is amount. I am always, because people keep making mistakes on amount. If you make a mistake on amount, it will go through reversal process. Reversal process is not what you and I can determine. It's outside of us, above us. So type your figures very well. I know that some of us that went to school in the 90s, when they have stopped using Kobo, it's difficult for us to write 1 naira, 20 Kobo. It's pretty hard. Or 1,025 Kobo. It's pretty difficult. Do you agree with me? I'm talking from experience. So, please, and that is why they cannot take somebody like me to come and do what you are doing. And that's why you are experts in this. Please, in some banks, 6,000 naira now will become 6 million. Sharp. It's very sweet to write 0. And then when you write all those long 0, you say, give me reversal. Nobody will give it. 6,000 cannot be 6 million. What were you looking at? I am talking based on information we have. I am not making jest of anybody, but that is the situation. How can 6,000 be 6 million for not? How can it be 6 million? You are just busy typing 0. It's not right. Huh? So that if you make a mistake now, say yes post, you pay 1 naira on Monday morning. Then deposit slip, you type it in there. Type the deposit slip in there. That's okay by me. You don't have any business with this now, so let's not even go there. Just use your tab key. Clearing dates, just okay, apply dates. 2013, that's what the person is paying for. 2013. Use your tab key. It takes you straight to pay to bank. So pay to bank. Click on it. Don't be afraid. It's only 1 naira. In the other bank, they put 81,000. The man say, how much do you put? Say 81,000. I don't want, And the database was open that day. I said, don't worry. Now, check it again. Review this transaction carefully. Continue with posting. The system is on dollar. By the time it gets to the database, it's going to be naira. But look at my question. Review this transaction carefully. Continue with posting. somebody will tell you, look, it was supposed to be 16 naira or 6,000 naira. It's 6 million. Did you see this? See, why I am highlighting this thing is for us to know the kind of challenge that people face on this thing. The 6 million issue has not been resolved though. I'm not making up a story. Yeah. It's genuine. I'm not making up a story. 6,000 is 6 million. And who is going to say that 6,000 is 6 million and you approve it? Okay, first of all, pay the 6 million. When we approve it, then you can find. So that is why we are taking our time to look at these things. Because each time you make a mistake and this kind of issue comes, like the people here in the morning, they claim that they have never been trained. Did you hear it? They said they had never been trained. They had never had any trainer on ePay. The madam there said no, there should be a feedback from HR to know whether they have been trained or not. It's not correct that way. Let us review this. Payment type is this one. Assessment amount is 1 naira. Assessment reference is this. Agency code. Please, I needed to post to Ministry of Education. I have posted to Ministry of Finance. Please change it for me. Did you see this? So if the error is coming from the payer said, okay, I want to post to Ministry of Education, and he typed it, he wrote it on the deposit slip. So when it comes back, say, oh guy, it is you that made this mistake. Oh, it's not me. The tone will be different. But if you have said it's Ministry of Education and you have turned it to Ministry of Finance, there is an issue there. And that's okay. Please let us swap Ministry of Education to Ministry of Finance. By the time you say yes, post now, Ministry of Finance has seen the money, and you come back and at their back and say, okay, it is no longer their money. Won't they query you? Even if I see fake money, I know nobody has posted money to me today, but I live there and I see an alert on my phone that somebody has posted 1 million naira in my account. The next minute you say, it's no longer that it has been reversed. I think you are my bank, Abi. Sterling Bank will hear it today. Who authorized the reversal? You hear the finest grammar. Is it not true? If between me and you, is it not true? That's the same thing that applies here. It's the same thing. So please, a little caution, a little care. Okay. Now, you'll be posting on 1 card or 2 cards?
One.
Okay.
On the bank card. He introduced me to it anyway.
Okay.
So probably because I've not upgraded my platform.
Yes.
It doesn't work on.
If you have not upgraded, it won't work. If you have not upgraded, it won't work. So you must upgrade. If you have not upgraded, it will not work.
Let's see how this one will
Okay, please, okay, post. Pay to bank. Now look at it. 1,050 naira. It recognizes the decimal on its own. So if there is no kobo, you don't need to bother ahead with decimals. If there is no kobo, don't bother ahead with decimals. That's very, very important. Thank you for that. Okay.
Sometimes last 2 weeks, some of your representatives they brought a flyer, and one of the statement on the flyer was that if customer working with other bank checks, they should demand for their receipt immediately. Now, when the customer comes in with other bank check and we don't ask, we tell them to come wait for their checks to clear before they get receipt. It becomes an issue because the information given to them by you guys is that they should get their receipt immediately. So how do you harmonize that?
Good. Fantastic question. I know about the flyer. Can I give you one? You have already. It's not for you, it's meant for the customers. Now, everything on ePay is treated as what? Cash. So, everything on ePay is treated as cash. So, as long as somebody has walked in to make payment, even with another bank's check, process that transaction on ePay and give him his receipt immediately. That is the position of the government. Before this time, I used to have a lot of issues. You know, this is about my 7th time coming here. Are you aware of that? Some people are meeting me for the first time. This is about my 7th time. That used to be a very big issue until we put it on that paper. Everybody can see it now. People were thinking I was doing it myself. So that is the issue. It is the position of the government. If the check...
Did you understand the question?
No, really.
He said, look, I am processing a transaction for Okechukwu Okoro. So that's what is in the system. That's what is expected. Yeah. But by the time the receipt comes out, it comes out as Joseph Benjamin.
But at the point of posting, at the point of...
If she has posted what it seems is correct. Hello? And she has taken all the steps. That is what she's assuming.
By the time what I do then was after that, I'll get the entry ID. Then go on my search box.
That's the problem. That's the problem.
The normal receipt.
Okay, the normal receipt is still there.
It's still there, but what happens is it brings out somebody else's receipt instead of bringing out the one that processing.
No, it's not possible.
It happened 3 times, and the other colleague might also send it. It has to be somebody else is use another. We have a system that don't pay my brand. The other system, nobody does not my system. I asked the lady that does it happen to your own system. She said yes, that it does happen. That there's nothing.
I think they've answered you.
Like I said in the morning, this thing that you are seeing here is a technology, it's a dummy. So it has been programmed in a particular way. So it cannot behave in another way forever until authorized to behave in that way. I use the microphone in the morning. Look at it, I'm holding it in my hand. If I throw it up here, down here, up here, down here, it won't move this way, it won't move down unless there is a force that moves it away. But if you throw me up here, well, the first time you make it, I'll fall here. But the second time, I will still follow, but not here, maybe there. That's what a human being is. It's not the same thing with a technology. If you have said, please give me Joseph Benjamin must come out. Let us understand it that way. It has no spirit. But you can do... this guy is recording me. Sorry. Let's go to the website. Let's go to the main menu. Certificate of payment. Certificate of payment. Okay. Display. You know how to get here. Certificate of payment. Display. Somebody has done a payee or WHT. Let's say he has, and you have given the person a bulk receipt of 20,000 for 3 people. Am I right? So we want those 20,000 to have their own. What happens there? Okay. So you want the 3 people to have their individual receipts. You don't give them receipts, you give them certificates of payment. So how do I get these people in the system so that they can have their certificates of payment? The first thing is that he has to supply the list of these people in a particular format, which they will not do. You are the one that will do it for them. And this is what we want to display. We want to show you how you can do it. Okay, so all you need to do is to, by the time your receipt is out, the payment receipt is out, you hold it on your left hand. Then you now use that receipt to complete the details for each and every one of them in this CSV format. What do I mean by CSV? Okay, fine. Certificate of payment. Display. Good. So you can post manually. So let's go to manually. Post manually. Continue. So, since he has brought all the people that are the beneficiaries, put their information on this. Enter remitter ID. Which company made this payment? Put the pay ID of that company there. So just type in anything. Then beneficiary ID. What is the pay ID of beneficiary A? Put it there. Enter applied date. Which date is this covering? 2013 or whatever month. Put it there. Then enter entry date. Entry date is today's date, the day it was processed. Enter it there. Enter amount deducted. The general total amount is 100,000. The beneficiary is getting 20,000. Type it in there. Enter revenue code. You know that, Adi? Then enter entry ID. Payment entry ID. Payment entry ID is the number part of the receipt. Entry ID is what? Number part of the. Remember that the receipt number is made up of number and letters. Am I right? The number part is the entry ID. So enter it there. Like 14567. Type now. Then go up. Scroll up now. Go up. Okay. Enter total remittance 100,000. That's what the bulk receipt is all about. Yes. Yes. Enter. Then go up. No, now, down now. Then look at it. Confirm detail. Don't post anything. No. Confirm detail. So this is where I am interested, because if you all this information, this is a live data. All this information are supposed to be correct, which you get from the receipts. So this one, to tell you that I didn't see it, because it's a live data, so you cannot go there. But this is where the bulk of the job is. So if it is correct, confirm data, they tell you no, it's there, yes, it's there. Post, it's gone. You post for the second person, post for the third person, post for the fourth person, until all that you have is done.
How would I get this?
You have posted the transaction now.
So as you are posting, you are generating receipts for each.
No, now when you are done, at that point again, it said print receipts. On that main page, it will tell you print receipts. Print for one person or print for all. So print and then fill the form and the receipt will come out, you print. But not this particular receipt. The template is not this one. They give you the particular template on which you print. Is that okay by you? Go back. Okay, upload CSV. Upload CSV. So that means that you have to prepare your documents separately. And then you can now come here and upload. Continue. I'll just show you a few things here. And for me to be doing this, you're supposed to be paying me. This is a private consultancy. This is a private consultancy. It's not part of this. This is Microsoft. So, so this is Microsoft. It's not part of this. You're supposed to be paying me, but I will say it. You know, the Excel sheet. Oh, the Excel sheet has not come. Okay. So begin from here. We had remitter ID. Put it here. Beneficiary ID. Put it here. Amount deducted. Put it here. Can we put something in those places? Okay. Because I don't have everything offhand. Or let us see if the thing has come. Beneficiary ID. Put it. I don't know if it is in the right order. Can you see if that thing has come? Okay. Oh. So, the agency code, just put anything. Okay, revenue code. Revenue code. Do you have it offhand? Do you have the information?
No, I'm just...
Okay, what? Beneficiary ID is this one.
Applied date.
Applied date. There's a particular format. Applied date is, we'll get it on that place. There's a particular format in which it should come. We'll get it when that thing opens. What else? Entry date. Put it. There's a particular format too. Then what else? Amount deducted. Put it there. Amount for individual. Okay, amount deducted. The total amount.
Then I think the entry ID. Okay. Okay. So you know the order in which it should come. And if you open that place, there's an example on which the dates, the format for the day should come. Am I right? So copy this and paste it into 5 places. But you should do for everybody. But since we don't have that time, we just want to show how you can create a comma separated value file. That's what we're trying to do. Can we do that? So duplicate this information into 5 places. Let's see. Duplicate into 5 places. Remember, we are duplicating because we don't have time to type in for 5 different people. Am I right? Yes. So duplicate into 5 or how many people? Paste. Control V now.
Sorry, sir. The system.
Copy. For 5 now. No, now up from up. Now select CSV. CSV.
Which of them?
This one. CSV. No, this is DOS now.
Command delimited.
Okay, command this one. Yes. Select it. Now select the. Save it on your desktop. Put this as your desktop so that you can access it immediately. Say okay. Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay. Now minimize this. Minimize this. Now what you are trying to create is a comma delimited file, CSV file. Am I right? So go to your desktop and let's open that file. Let's open the file. Is it there? Now right click on it and open with. No, please. Eh? No, don't open with Excel. Open with Notepad. Open it with Notepad. Why can't you have that? Huh?
Choose default from program.
Let's see default program.
Okay. There's no Notepad. Okay, others. Yes, other programs, yes. Okay, so select Notepad. Look at it. Notepad. Open. Okay. Now this is your comma separated limited file. You are not looking at it. Okay, you are looking at it. Now all you need to do is on that upload CSV. So all you need to do is go there, upload. It will ask you where you save this file. So just take it and it has gone. Simple and short. Just take it and say, okay, it would have gone. Then you can now say, okay, print your certificate of payment. Is it, if you want to print for one, if you want to print for this group or whatever. So that's how that one is done. 530901888. That is Joseph. That gentleman there. That is technical support officer. My card is not working. It's not synchronizing. My system is this and that. That's the person to call. But I don't know how to post this thing. Please, I want to make a mistake in posting this.
We believe that we have taken 1 or 2 things, but for those of us that still have issues that have not been addressed here, we will put them in writing and send it to fa.ilari@sterlingbank.ng, and then we'll see how we can pass it on. Thank you very much, and have a beautiful day.